Good morning, students. We have completed our fourth chapter, that are the types of tissue. In this lecture, we are going to see the next chapter, that are the internal organization of a primary plant body. Let's see what is the internal organization. When we take any section of any plant part, they show the some organization. That means there is arrangement, there is a structure we are going to study, that is known as the internal organization. Let's see. Before going to see that part, I want to give you some hint, or the some important basic point of this part. In this internal organization of a plant body, that are the we have to see the dicot, monocot, root, stem, leaf. That is a primary. First, anything plant generate, first three part will be form: root, leaf, and the stem. That is known as the primary plant body. Before we are going to see the internal organization of root, stem, leaf, I want to give some basic concept related to the monocot and dicot plant. From the ancient time, from the many exams, and the different types of competition of like a botany, there are asked the question about the difference between the monocot and dicot. Most of students know the difference, but actual, when they do the practical, they can easily observe that difference or not. For that purpose, I want to give you some pictures and information through which you can identify the differences between the monocot and dicot plant. Let's see. Monocot plant having the merus condition, that means the parts, that is a trimerous, or the hexamerous, that is known as the condition of a meracity, that means a parts distribution, generally in number of 3. And dicot, it is generally present in a 4, 5, or a 6, that is a pentamerous, quadramerous, or a hexamerous. Generally 5 parts are present in every flower. The first point I have explained, difference between the monocot and dicot, that is a mericity. Mericity, that is nothing but the parts of a flower. In monocot, generally 3 parts of flower are present. In dicot, 4, 5, or 6 parts are present. Let's see which are that part. Let's see. Here are the monocot, some example are given, and dicot example are given. Let's see the leaf. Most of students know about the leaf venation. Leaf, monocot having the parallel venation, dicot having the reticulate venation. But actual, what is the reticulate venation and what is the parallel venation? Let's see in the first figure. In monocot, parallel venation, around the midrib they having the parallel lines of veins, that is known as a parallel venation. In second figure, around the midrib, from the midrib there is a network like structure are present. For that purpose, it is known as a reticulate venation. Root, in monocot, they having the fibrous root system. Fibrous root system, that means there is no branching, or the main root are present. From the main root, number of rootlet are from the base of the stem, number of rootlet are the form, that is known as fibrous or the adventitious root system. And another, taproot system, at the end of stem they produce the main branch. From the main branch, there are different type of rootlet are produced, that is known as a taproot system. Let's see the seed. In monocot, they having the single cotyledon, seed are present. In dicot, they having the 2 cotyledon, seed are present. Let's see. I have one question. Previously, you have to give me the name of a largest plant in the world. Largest plant in the world, as well as the largest plant in the India. In India, largest plant, it is the Ficus bengalensis, which are situated in Kolkata at Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose Indian Botanical Garden, Kolkata. That means largest tree in India, that is a Ficus bengalensis, which are situated in a Kolkata Acharya Jagdish Bose Botanical Garden. That are the largest plant. Remember in a mind. In practical exam or any competitive exam, question may be arises that type. Then largest tree in the world, which are, that is also asked in a different type of a competitive exam. India can be asked in a, some practicals or some questionnaires, but in some competitive exam, which are the quiz, national competition, international competition, that may be arises such question. That is the largest tree in the world. The largest tree in the world is a General Sherman, is a giant Sequoia giganteum. It is located in the giant forest Sequoia National Park in a Tillor country and the US state of California. That is a information. The name of plant, that is a Sequoia giganteum, which are found in a General Sherman, that name of a common name of a tree. Why that name are given? In that time, that found the largest tree. That time General Sherman Empire was in that area, due to which that tree given name as a General Sherman, which are located in a giant forest Sequoia National Park, Sequoia, and for that purpose, that national park have given name a Sequoia National Park, Tulor country in US state of California, that are the located. Okay, that is the Ficus bengalensis trees, some rootlets. That are the Ficus bengalensis tree, which are located in Kolkata. That is a Sequoia tree in the California, US state. Okay, that are the basic information about the plants and the difference between the monocot and dicot. Next, we are going to study the internal organization of a plant part. First, we are going to see the internal organization of a monocot root. Let's see, when we take any section of a plant part, root, stem, leaf, they showing the similar parts. If you have to take a section of a root, monocot as well as a dicot, that observe these 5 characters, that is known as the epiblema, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, vascular bundle, and the pith. Every root having these 5 parts, but that arrangement and the structure, it is a different. But arrangement, that means parts we have to observe in section, that are the 5 are the same, but only their arrangement in that part, it is a different. The first part of when we take a section, the outer surface is known as a epiblema. Inside the epiblema, there is a cortex is present. Inside the cortex, endodermis is present. Inside the endodermis, pericycle is present. Inside the pericycle, vascular bundle is present. And the center of section, there is a pith is a present. Let's see. It is a monocot root section. The upper surface is a root here, then epiblema, then cortex, then endodermis, pericycle, then vascular bundle, that means xylem and a phloem, and in center pith are present. In this way, arrangement of a tissue in a internal organization of a monocot root. See the detailed structure of each part. Epiblema, it is the outermost layer of a root, hence it is known as a epiblema. It may be single layer, it may be uniseriate, composed of the compact tubular cell which having the no intercellular space and a stomata. In some epidermis, monocot orchid having the velamen tissue, the tubular unicellular root hairs are present. In this layer, root hair absorb water and mineral from a soil. That are the characters of a monocot root. First character, it is the outermost layer. For that purpose, it is known as a epiblema. Second character, it may be a single layer. Hence, it is known as a uniseriate epidermis. In that epidermis, there is the absence of an intercellular space and the stomata. In a root, there is a no intercellular space and the stomata. In a monocot root, in the some plants like a orchid plant, they having the specialized tissue that is known as a velamen tissue. The function of velamen tissue, it is nothing but they produce the aerial root. At the epiblema, there is a presence of a root hair, unicellular root hair, that doing the function of a absorption of water and mineral from a soil. Next part, that is a cortex. Immediately after the epiblema, there is a same cell, that is a same cell or the number of cells, multilayer cortex, it is a present. It is a region of a parenchymatous cell. Cortex, it is nothing but one type of cell are present, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, any type of cell are present, but that having the one type multilayer cell are present after the epiblema, that is known as a cortex. It is a multilayer cell are the loosely arranged. In epidermis, cells are the compactly arranged. Compactly, that means that cell having there is no space between that two cells, means that they are tightly arranged. Okay, and in cortex, that our cells are loosely arranged. Minimum cell are present due to the loose structure of the form. The main function of cortex is the storage of food material and the translocation of water solute to the conducting element. That is the main function, storage of food material and translocation of water to the water solute to the conductive element. That is the main function of a cortex. First, storage of food, and second, translocation of water and mineral to that conducting element. That are the function and the structure of a cortex. Then next, it is the endodermis. The innermost layer of cortex is called as a endodermis. After the end of a cortex, there is a new single layer of cell are the form, that is known as a endodermis. It is a single layer cells having the barrel shape, radial and inner wall extremely thick as compared to the outer wall. Radial and inner wall, it is a thick as compared to the outer wall. Outer wall of endodermis, it is a thin. Radial, that means a center, and the inner wall, it is a thick. Why they are require thick radial and inner wall? There is a pressure of food material as well as water inside, due to which that having the thick nature. If there is no pressure, they having in a thin nature. On the wall, there is a deposition of a suberin. Endodermis, as compared to the cortex and the epiblema, there is a hard structure because there is a deposition of a suberin, name of a chemicals. The few thin walls passage cell are present for the diffusion of water and minerals. In the endodermis, there are the few passage cell are present. Passage cell, it is nothing but the small opening in that endodermis, that is known as a passage cell, which are useful for the diffusion of water and minerals. Next, there is pericycle. After the end of endodermis, there is a pericycle start. It usually single layer cell wall is composed of barrel shape. It gives rise to the lateral root, and still is a centrally cylindrically root. Pericycle, it is nothing but the actually vascular bundle or the vascular tissue are surrounded by the single layer cell, that is known as a pericycle, which are composed of a barrel shape cell. It gives rise to the lateral root, due to which a pericycle lateral root are produces. Still is a cylindrical and the central structure of a root. Remember previously vascular tissue I am teaching that I have explained what is a steel. Next part is the vascular tissue. Vascular tissue in every section it is an important and a complicated part. Vascular tissue consisting the strands of a xylem and a phloem. This is called as a radial vascular bundle. In this monocot root, radial vascular bundle are present. Keep in mind, this is very important in this description. Which type of vascular bundle are present in a monocot root? Answer of that question, it is a radial vascular bundle present in a monocot root. First, xylem. Vascular bundle or the vascular tissue, it is nothing but the arrangement of a xylem and a phloem. Xylem generally polyarch. Polyarch, that means many arms present in that xylem. Hence that is known as a polyarch. Metaxylem vessels are broad while the protoxylem vessels are small. I have explained the parts of a xylem. In that vessel it is the most important parts. Okay. Metaxylem vessels are broad and the protoxylem vessels are small. Xylem are exarch. What is the exarch? Protoxylem elements towards the periphery and the metaxylem present in a center. That is the characters of a xylem. First character, xylem, it is a polyarch. Second character, metaxylem. Metaxylem having the broad vessels and the protoxylem having the small vessels. Xylem, it is a exarching condition. Exarch, that means protoxylem towards the periphery and the metaxylem towards the center. Let's see the phloem. Phloem consists of four type of component. Sieve tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and vascular bundle are radial. That are component consist by the phloem. Okay, what is the function of phloem? Transport of a food material. Let's last part of this section, that are the pith. It is the central portion which is made up of a parenchymatous cell. Sometimes pith it is made up of a sclerenchyma. In a hard type of a root, those root become a hard. That type of root it is made up of a sclerenchyma. For example, canna. It is a large as well as developed portion in a monocot root. If those root are the old, in such type of root it is a large and the well developed portion in a monocot root. It contain abundant amount of a starch grain in that pith. That are the overall structure of a monocot root. Epiblema, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, vascular bundle and pith. I hope you have understand. Let's see the next type of a root. In a dicot root, I have explained all parts are similar, but only that arrangement are different and characters are different. That are the section. We generally observe that section. Okay, monocot root section and the dicot root section. Parts are same, but that arrangement are different. Root hairs, then rhizodermis, then cortex, endodermis, phloem, pericycle, protoxylem, conjunctive tissue, metaxylem, Casparian strip, passage cell. That are the characteristics of a overall section. Let's see the first part, that is a epiblema. It is the outermost layer. It is also called as a rhizodermis. Why it is called as rhizodermis? It go deep in the soil, due to which it is also called as a rhizodermis. It may be a single layer. Epiblemal cell are the tubular extension called as a root hair. On the epiblema, the root hairs are present, which are doing the function of absorption of water. Root hair are the unicellular that absorb water and minerals. Simply we have to remember all distinguished characters between monocot root epiblema and dicot root epiblema. There is only one distinguished character, that is known as a rhizodermis. In that it is called as a epiblema and here it is called as a rhizodermis. Beside all characters are similar. Next it is a cortex. Okay, cortex, it is nothing but the multi-layer parenchymatous cells are present, that is considered as a cortex. That cell arranged concentrically, that means that arrange in the view of a go to the center, that is another concentric arrangement. The cell of cortex is thin wall with intercellular space. Keep in mind, in that cortex there is a intercellular space are present. Chloroplasts are absent in this region. Same way, chloroplasts are absent in this region. The innermost layer of cortex is differentiated as an endodermis. Okay, the main function of cortex, it is a storage of food and translocation of water and solute to the conducting element. That are the characters of a cortex. You have to only distinguish which different character are given. Comparing the monocot and dicot root section, you can easily remember it. Then endodermis, it is single layer, it is a well differentiated from a cortex. These are the living cell. The cell of endodermis is characterized by the presence of a Casparian strip in their wall. The cell of endodermis, it is a characterized presence of a Casparian strip in their wall. What is a Casparian strips? Casparian strip, it is nothing but that strip present between the xylem and phloem. That strip is known as a Casparian strip, and some amount of a strip are present in the endodermis. And there is also deposition of a suberin type of a chemicals. Casparian strip control the movement of a material in a root. Casparian strip control the movement of a material in a root. That means that it transport, it is a control water as well as a food material, it is also control movement. Still, it is a differentiated in pericycle, vascular bundle and the pith. Pericycle, it is a single layer, thin wall, parenchymatous cell. It just below the epidermis. It capable to meristematic growth, and it gives the lateral root primordia. That are the function of a pericycle. Single layer, thin wall, parenchymatous cell. It is just below to endodermis. Pericycle is capable of a meristematic growth. Why that is meristematic growth? Because dicot root, there is a apex, it is a present that having the apical meristem, due to which that having the growing region, it gives to the lateral root primordia. Next, that is the vascular tissue. The arrangement of vascular tissue in a dicot root is the same in a monocot root, alternate and a radial. The phloem is not present external to the xylem, but alternate radial with a xylem. Phloem, it is not present on the external to xylem, but alternate. That means radially that are the present. The primary phloem and the primary xylem appear in a separate bundle. They are present on a separate radii. I have explained that the secondary growth are take place in the dicot plant. For that purpose, primary and the secondary structure are expressed. For that purpose, primary phloem and the primary xylem appear as in a separate bundle. Then xylem is a exarch. What is the exarch? Protoxylem, it is towards the periphery, while metaxylem towards the center. Xylem may be a diarch, triarch, tetrarch. Metaxylem vessel is a broad, protoxylem vessel are a small. Phloem patches are present to the alternate to the xylem strand. Then pith of dicot root, it is made of parenchymatous and very small. In a old root, due to secondary pith, it will be obligatory and destroy. I have explained that secondary growth are observed only in a dicot plant. Due to growth of secondary growth, the pith become obligatory, small, or maybe a destroy. That are the overall characteristics of a dicot overall characteristic of a dicot plant or the section of a dicot root. I have explained two parts in this lecture. First part, that are the structure. First part is the monocot root structure. Second part, internal organization of a dicot root. If you understand, it is good. If you don't understand any concept, please comment below the section.